Here comes X's and O's with Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell on the KFAN Minnesota Vikings Radio Network and Vikings.com. And I'm Paul Allen. Out of the bye, the Vikings hooked the Las Vegas Raiders shortly after 3 o'clock. We're going to Las Vegas, Kevin O'Connell, which means it's an opportunity for you to take a nostalgic trip to Sam Boyd Stadium, where you, as quarterback with San Diego State University, 3-1 lifetime against UNLV. This is a huge trip for you, isn't it?
You know, I hadn't thought about any of those trips to Sam Boyd Stadium in about 15 years, so thank you for that. But I do remember, you know, the 45-mile-an-hour winds one day out there. I'm very thankful that we'll be inside there at
Allegiant.
At Allegiant, and it's going to be. We played there in the preseason last year. It's a really spectacular place, venue. It's where they'll have the Super Bowl this year. Doesn't quite stack up to the bank, but I will tell you, we absolutely need to go get a win, and it's going to be a tough environment, and we know. We're going to have to play well to get that done.
When you were at Aztec or playing for Los Aztecas, did you ever go to a bowl game?
We did not.
Oh.
Yeah, we were bowl eligible 1 year. Didn't get the invite, and then I threw a ton of interceptions to keep us out of one when I was a redshirt freshman. So, you know, I think the first official bowl game outside of some collegiate all-star games that I played or coached in was the actual Super Bowl. So
yeah, I knew you were going to hit us with that. That's phenomenal. Now, lastly, on the college vibe here, you know, 18 years ago this week, Kevin O'Connell went for 421, 3 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown in a game at Hawaii. I mean, games at Hawaii, first of all, statistically, it was your best college game. But secondly, games in Hawaii, I mean, it just sounds majestic and like a working vacation. Is that true?
It was until Colt Brennan, I think, threw for about 500 yards to beat us.
Bring that part up. 3 touchdowns in a row. They took the lead.
No,
you don't play defense.
That's I wish I could have that day, but no, that's the one thing about the Mountain West. I mean, you've got your trips to Boise and Colorado State, and then you're going to New Mexico and UNLV. You've got the Fresnos of the world, and then you hop on a plane and go out to the Hawaiian Islands to play a football game. So it's a very unique conference and special opportunity. So anybody out there looking for a great place to play college football, San Diego State would be a great option.
How much during the downtime that you got during the bye, how much was nose to the grindstone? Because there are just a lot of there are always a lot of things to look at during the teardown, a lot of different things this year.
Yeah, and I think when you get the bye later on in the season, we had the inventory of early on and you know, some great quarterback play throughout Kirk's, you know, 8 opportunities he had this year. And then we, you know, have to change gears really as an offense. And although you want to try to find that right balance of staying true to who you want to be offensively, we really had to take a look at what are we right now, what do we need to become over these last 5 opportunities to get to where we want to go. And then just the evaluation of, you know, play calling tendencies. There's 1,000 things that you look back on as the head coach, never mind just the play caller, and you know, staying true to your process and evaluating it with really no stone unturned as far as where I can personally be better for our football team, and then taking a look at some of our players, some of our positions where, you know, are we, you know, getting the best out of our groups we have? Are we playing the right guys? Do we need to ultimately, you know, shift or adjust in any way, shape, or form? That's what we do as coaches. But I also think it's important, you know, especially for my staff, to get away and, you know, recharge. We gave the players as much time off as we could coming off of a really disappointing game Monday night last week. And ultimately, when they got back in the building Monday, you could feel the energy, the juice. These guys are ready to go. They know it's all about one opportunity at 1 o'clock in Las Vegas this Sunday.
The 421-3 with the rushing touchdown at Hawaii. What would you prefer to talk about, that Monday night game against the Bears or the 421-3, the 421-3?
Yeah.
During a season, you mentioned Cousins, but I mean, you've lost so many key players, either in and out or for long patches. But nevertheless, despite that, I would imagine the turnovers have probably bugged you the most, right?
Yeah, by far. It's a winning and losing stat, and I think over the last 2 weeks we've once again kind of fallen into, circumstances where we lose that margin significantly. And you look at it, and we've lost 2 football games by a combined 3 points, and had the lead, figured out a way to get the lead late in the fourth quarter. And just as a team, what can we do better to close? How can we be as coaches? Can we be more aggressive? Can we be smarter with how we're handling the end-of-game situations, really offensively, defensively, special teams? Can we make that one play, that one kicking game play to maybe grab 15 to 20 yards of field position and truly make it in our favor from a standpoint of our defense getting a stop like they have many times this year. They've been really, really good for us. But how are all 3 phases working together? How are we contributing to that as coaches? And that's the only way to go about it, PA, is to look inward first, be honest with yourself. And there's many, many things that I continue to learn and try to grow through some of this adversity and be at my best for this team, because I know these guys are going to do that for me.
All right. Well, I mean, through your first season and change here, I would look at you as aggressive by nature. I think you're an aggressive play caller. You're not afraid to strike down the field. When you're constantly changing quarterbacks or having injuries and stuff, does that, in essence, neutralize an aggressive side of somebody who wants to strike down the field with JJ or not?
Yeah, I think it's a critical thing, and it's not something that you can decide on Tuesday or Wednesday. This is what we're going to be, because inevitably there's 60 minutes on Sunday that tells the true story. Whether that's 4 interceptions in a game, and you're deciding late in the game how aggressive you want to be throwing the football, when you do know your defense has kept the team out of the end zone all day, really limited the opposing team to not very many explosive plays, and knowing they're going to need at least one to possibly have a chance to beat you on a field goal. Or against Denver, can we keep them out of the end zone on that final drive? You're making decisions as an offense to really limit risk, knowing maybe you're not completely at full capacity as far as your personnel goes. But I do believe in the end, where we're going to get to as a football team this year, where I do believe we're going, PA, we're going to have to find ways to win football games, finish football games. And if that takes being a little bit more aggressive and kind of bucking the traditional trends of, the clock and field position and all those things, so be it. We're going to do what we feel is best to win each and every opportunity we have left. That's from the first snap and riding that wave all the way to the last snap. And that's our job as coaches, and we'll continue to improve on that.
KOC, Kevin O'Connell, X's and O's, KFA and Minnesota Vikings Radio Network and Vikings.com. It's courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery. This is the best team for whom Josh Dobbs has played, whether he plays the rest of them, none of them, or whatever. Now, so therefore, it can be so eye-opening for him with this team, and now Jefferson comes back. Working the offense from the pocket the way you want it to work, to a certain extent, is that a work in progress with him?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is our offense is built around the quarterback position, tying feet, eyes, technique, fundamentals, rhythm, timing, and it's hard to try to make up for a lot of time lost of doing it the way that we coach it and not cutting any corners on, maybe an extra step here or taking an extra hitch there. We want our guys to be able to play, with fluidity and not be held back by kind of limitations. But we also want a framework that is built to try to maximize chances for efficiency and explosives, but also limit potential for negative plays. And I think that's what, the number one thing we're going to work with Josh continuing to move forward here is just getting acclimated to some of those things, but also taking a look at it on the bye, PA. What are some things that we can do, either going back and studying, things he's done well at other spots, or getting, just a little bit more comfort in this offense through maybe infusing some things for Josh that he can go out and have some second nature with, despite not having the time on task to do it.
And the quarterback spot's obviously so important, you being a former quarterback who actually would cut time during some seasons with players at San Diego State. And the reason for that line of questioning is I would imagine the last thing you want is a quarterback heading into a game thinking, man, if I make 2 mistakes here, I might be out. Is that fair?
Yeah, you never want anybody having any of their preparation tied up in worry or doubt. You want to prepare the right way, and whoever's going to be playing quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. We know it's not going to be Kirk Cousins. We all wish that Kirk could continue upon the great season he was having. But what we do know is we have a lot of confidence in really all three guys in that room, how they prepare. Their teammates see them every single day. And ultimately, where this season goes is going to be, it's going to be tied to that position, being able to make enough throws, make enough plays, and get the ball into the hands of some of our special playmakers. It's going to be great to have Justin back on the field for sure. But I look at it the other way too. What are the other 10 guys doing for that quarterback position? Can we really look at the tape over the last couple weeks and say that all other 10 guys on the field in that offensive huddle, or the 11 guys on defense, when you're doing your job perfect every single snap, that's when you know that you're doing everything in your power to be at your best for that guy who's ever under center. We're not asking guys to play perfect, but we want to limit the amount of snaps where you cut the tape on and say, we could have been better there. We could have been better there. We need to separate more there. We need to block a little bit better there. We need to run it a little bit better there. Ultimately, when it's only about the quarterback, and that's the natural thing, I do think that's a losing formula. We want the quarterback to be a major part of our success, but be pushed to the heights that they can reach by those guys around them and what we're doing for them as coaches.
Is it too flippant to say no matter the quarterback, with Justin back in the mix, everything changes? I mean, from not only what you guys are going to see, I mean, it's just everything is now open, right?
Yeah, it's a matter of Justin Jefferson requires a ton of attention from the teams we play. Like we've seen in recent weeks, without Justin in there, that attention has really shifted to Jordan or TJ, depending on the down and distance. And now people have to make a decision. The original goal was to really have a skill group, between our receivers and tight ends led by Justin, TJ, Jordan, and KJ, and the rest of our group that really can maximize all five eligibles coming to life. Being elite with our execution, our separation, and then ultimately, like we've seen from some of the best offenses in this league and our offense at a lot of moments this year, the yards after catch. Can we turn shorter completions with less risk-averse type of throws? Can we turn those into some explosives? Can we make some individual opportunities like TJ did against the Falcons for a huge gain on a catch transition? JJ catching a basic cross against the Chargers and taking it 48 yards for a touchdown. There's examples of us not having to throw it 100 miles down the field to generate explosives, and that's because of the confidence we have in that skill group. And ultimately, that's what we're looking for, but we still got to get down the field on people as well, and that's where it takes all 11.
Raiders, last one, Devontae Adams. And now one touchdown the last 9 games. They have a rookie quarterback. Nevertheless, he's a handful, isn't he?
He's, he's a complete player. I mean, he can win really every which way you ask a receiver to do it. He's great with the ball in his hands as far as maximizing some of those yards after catch opportunities. Great ball tracking skills when he gets down the field. And then he's got the strength and physicality to really separate versus tighter coverage in those intermediate areas. So we've got to have a plan for him. It's going to be a challenge for our defense. You'd love to get some pressure on a young quarterback and make him feel like he doesn't have all day to kind of process and go through his progressions. And in the end, like our defense has done many, many times this year, can we get people into those longer yardage situations and either get off the field or maybe it's Danielle Hunter or Murph or Harrison Smith or one of our guys forcing a big turnover to help set that number in the direction we want to go.
Mayor fist bump. Curly is a mile away from each other. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thanks, PA.
Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. X's and O's continues around the corner on Vikings.com and the KFAN Minnesota Vikings radio network.